Alright, hey guys, so the time has finally come where I'm going to turn this into this. But the first thing that I need to do in order to do this is remove these stumps along the side so that I can put this fence in. And the tools that I'm going to use to do this are going to be a regular shovel and a hacksaw. And I've actually got two different types of hacksaws. I have this one and this little guy to get into like the tight corners and stuff like that of the roots. So are these the tools that I should be using? I have no idea, but I'm gonna give it a go. All right, so the first thing that I did before I'm even gonna start digging is just move all this debris right here out of the way. I use this rake over here. I'm just kind of raked it out. That way I know what I'm working with. I know what is like live that I need to dig out and what's not. So just move everything out of the area. That way it's easier to just see what you're doing. Start with digging. You want to start digging kind of far out because we know the roots are going to come along this way. So I'm going to start digging way out here and dig my way in, and then I want to cut the roots about a foot or a foot and a half away from the actual bush. That way the roots have no way of like growing back up. So let's start. Also, the roots closer to the bush are a lot thicker, and I don't want to work as hard, so I'm going to cut a lot further out. So. Alright, so me and my wife were actually talking about this, and if you see these bushes, they're in a straight line and they're just far enough off where we can still build the fence behind it. And we would actually like to keep these bushes because when they grow up, they're going to grow about this tall, like taller than I am, and so they would provide some actually really good privacy even when we have the fence up. But the only thing that we're going to get rid of is a small tree over here, and then we're going to leave these bushes here. So I'm going to put all that dirt back in the hole. Alright, we got the tree out. It took probably about 15 to 20 minutes. It wasn't really as bad as I thought it would be. The good thing is this tree is like kind of like in the process of dying anyway, so the roots were pretty flimsy. Just rocking it back and forth. I tore a couple roots apart. So we got the tree out. Now we're just gonna rake this out, clean it up, and then go buy some wood and start this fence. So it's gonna be exciting. This is actually my first fence build, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do when you build a fence is establish where your posts are gonna go. So we kind of know a general line of where we want the fence to go. So I'm gonna use this chalk string just to kind of mark out what the straight line is, and then we can start digging our posts. That way we have a straight fence to start with. Alright guys, so whenever you're digging your post holes, in theory you want your post hole to be as deep as 1/3 of the height of your fence. So we want to build a 6-foot fence, so 1/3 of that's 2 feet. So we're going to dig a 2-foot hole. Also, you want the diameter of the hole to be 3 times width of your post. So our post is 4 inches, so we're going to dig a 12-inch diameter hole. So 12-inch by 2 feet. And then we're able to set the post in, put concrete in, and it'll be sturdy enough to withstand like wind and stuff like that. So. Okay, so we've dug all of the holes, all 5 holes that we need, and now is time to put in the posts. So I got 8-foot long posts because the hole's 2 feet deep and we want a 6-foot fence. So I've already stuck the posts in. I've already almost done all of them, but I left one out for you guys. I was working on this last night, but it was too dark to film, so I decided to leave this one undone so I could show you guys how it's done. So I put the post in there. It's not being held by anything, it's just sitting in there. Oh, and I added these little light fixtures. So whenever it's nighttime, the LED lights up and it just looks really pretty. So yeah, I just stuck the post in here, and then I got these just scrap wood that I had on hand that I'm going to use to make our 90-degree angle. That way this is as level as it can be whenever we pour in the cement. So I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So I take my leveler and I'll level this off until it's, well, level. Scoot this guy over. And then as soon as it's level, I'll give it a couple nails. And then I'll do the same on this side. Make sure it's level. And wherever it's level, I'll go ahead and nail those. And now it's sturdy. It's not moving anywhere. This way is level, and this way is level. So now I can just pour in the cement, and I don't have to worry about holding this thing. I just hammered these into the ground like stakes, and then whenever this is solid, I'll just remove this with a hammer. So that's what I did with these other 4, and I gotta show you this product, guys, that I've been using. A little bit more expensive than regular cement, but it's way better. So if you guys have ever seen this, it's called Pro Select Fence Post Mix. I'll show you guys how to use it. I mean, this stuff gets hard in like 3 to 5 minutes. It's really cool, and it actually saves a lot of time. And you don't have to like get all dirty mixing cement and stuff like that. I know a lot of you guys probably like to get dirty when you're working outside and mixing cement. It makes you feel more of a man, but I'm telling you, this stuff is a life changer. So what you do is you roll the bag from the bottom here until it pops, like that. That means both of the mixtures have mixed together. You mix it for about 15 seconds. After 15 seconds, there's a line where you cut. You don't want to mix more than 15 seconds because by that time this is already starting to work. You cut it, you pour this mixture in the hole evenly. You want to get it even around all sides. You'll feel the bag starting to get a little hot. And then you just let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, and the coolest thing happens. So if you can see it down there, it's already starting to expand. Alright, and then whenever it's all hard, you can cut all the excess off. This is off. It's really easy. It kind of feels just like styrofoam. Alright guys, so as I was editing this video, I noticed a couple things that were missing, and I don't know where it went. I don't know if maybe I just didn't record it, or it's on a different SD card, or I don't know. But I couldn't find the clip of me actually putting the planks on, so it's kind of upsetting because that was like one of the biggest things. So I'll just explain a little something for you guys. The things that I use to attach these horizontal beams to the posts are called 2x4 mounting brackets. You can purchase them at pretty much any hardware store, and they're super cheap. They're like, I don't know, I want to say they're like 68 cents a piece, or not even that. So super cheap. It's just like a metal rectangle with 3 flaps on it where you can screw it into the 2x4 on either side and on the bottom after you've mounted it on your post. So I don't know the specs of how high or how low you're supposed to put your horizontal beams, but I just kind of put my bottom beams about a foot off of the ground, a 1.5 feet off of the ground, and then my top posts, I just put them about 6 inches below the top of the plank. So yeah, that's that part. So I put all the horizontal beams on, which is really easy with these brackets. You just screw the 2x4 bracket into the post on both sides, and then you slide after you cut it to length, you slide the 2x4 into the brackets, and then you secure them using fencing screws. The next part would be the fence planks. So what you guys didn't see is I originally put these planks on this side of the fence, so inside my backyard. I had the planks on the inside, but after looking at it, me and my wife decided to just put them on the outside because we kind of like the dark and light contrast. We like looking at it. It looks pleasing for us. So I put all of them on this side, and then we decided otherwise, so I had to take all of them back off and flip them and put them on the other side, which was okay because at first all I did was nail gun them in. So you just take a nail gun, line up the planks how you want them, you nail them in, one on top, one on bottom, until you see that it looks good to you. And if it looks good to you, then you start putting the fencing screws in. And you do that because after you nail them in, you want to take a step back. You want to look at your work, and if there's anything you need to change, if it's just a nail gun, it's easy to just remove and replace. So yeah, that's where we're at now. We're finally all done. Our ground isn't level at all, so it's difficult putting the fence up. I didn't know if I wanted to make it level or if I just wanted to make it parallel to the ground floor. I ended up just making it parallel to the ground floor because that was easier. I didn't want to leave any gaps at the bottom for my dog to dig out and crawl out. So all I did was, if there was a big hill and I needed to level this down a little bit more, I'd take my wooden hammer, my wooden mallet, and I would just tap it at the top until I got it just about where I wanted it. It's not all even, but it looks good. So yeah, I'm done with this point. Another tip that I would give you guys is something that I learned while I was building this fence. Again, this is my first time building a fence, so I learned a lot of new stuff. Once you start, I wanted to leave the spaces in between the planks at about a 1/4 inch, but it didn't happen like that everywhere. So what I did was I did a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and then I stopped, and then I started working on this side, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and then I took a step back. I put some planks in. I tried to see what type of spacing I needed because I didn't want to have to cut any planks like in half or something like that. That would just be too strenuous. So I tried to see how many planks I could fit in there and leave appropriate amount of spacing between all of them. So that's how that worked out. So there was a lot of playing around with it. Of course, using the nail gun to nail it in at first made it really easy because then I could just pop it out and adjust it if I needed to, and I didn't have to mess with the screws every time. So I would highly recommend, if you don't have a nail gun, to get a nail gun. When you're building a fence, it makes things a lot easier, especially if you're doing a one-man job and you don't have somebody to hold up the wood planks or that kind of stuff. Just having the nail gun made it a lot easier. So if you guys have any questions on fences, again, I'm not an expert by any means. This was, again, my first fence build, and please, if you guys who have built fences numerous times, if you guys have any advice for me, I would love that constructive criticism down below in my comments because I'm still learning, and I love learning new things to make me better as a craftsman. So again, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great day. And I think Samuel wants to be in the video. Come here, buddy. Yeah, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.